The girl wakes up from the alarm clock, and then goes to the bathroom. During breakfast, she receives a message and, after reading the contents, she quickly hides the phone from her boyfriend. The girl arrives at work, where her assistant reminds her that at 10:15 she has an appointment with Sandy. She asks for 5 minutes to collect her thoughts. The girl informs her subordinate that the board of directors has decided to abandon the project in which Sandy works. The girl asks not to fire her, as she has just made her first contribution to the house, and this job means a lot to her. Despite the importance of this project for the environment and personal sympathy for the girl, Joan is not going to challenge the decision of people from above. During the break, she texts with her ex-boyfriend Mac, who wrote this morning. Thinking about how to respond to the offer to meet, Joan drops an electronic cigarette and hits Sandy on the head, whom she fired 5 minutes ago, for which she receives a couple of affectionate ones. From Cyclo, Joan.
Your mother.
At a session with a psychotherapist, a woman talks about the difficulties in her work, about Krisha, with whom she is engaged. Joan admits that, despite the fact that her young man is reliable, good and caring, he is too bland. This applies to everything, even the food he cooked. But with her ex, on the contrary, she had a passion both in bed and in life. Despite constant quarrels and breakups, Joan cannot completely get rid of her attachment to her ex. After therapy, the girl still decides to answer the messages and agrees to meet. After flirting a little with his ex, the magician offers to resume the relationship again. He came to town for 3 days, after which he will return to his apartment and wants to take Joan with him. The girl reminds him of past attempts to get together. And how did it all end?
You left me, broke my fucking heart.
The man lets out his charms, and they kiss. Joan realizes that this meeting was a big mistake. Not going to lose the current relationship, she says goodbye to Mac, and then quickly leaves the restaurant. Already at home, Joan, along with her future husband, decides to watch something on TV. Turning on the local analog of Netflix, Streamberry, the couple stumbles upon the Joan Terrible series, where the main role is played by Salma Hayek, suspiciously similar to Joan. The girl resists watching it, but after a short persuasion turns it on. The series almost completely copies Joan's present day, including even a toothpaste company and singing along to songs behind the wheel. The girl starts asking Krish how he was able to pull off this prank, but the man assures that it was not his doing. The series continues to repeat the events of life, but only demonstrates Joan as a soulless bitch who does not care about other people.
Are you firing me? If not now, then when?
During the break, she purposely throws an electronic cigarette at her former ward, after which she reads messages from Mac. Naturally, the show attracted the attention of other users of the service, including Joan's colleagues, Mac's ex, and even the girl's parents. From this madness, she catches a panic attack and starts walking around the room. After seeing the scene with the therapist, the newly minted star tries to turn off the TV, but does not have time, and Krish hears about her blandness and how everything was different with her ex. The man begins to pack his things, and Joan tries to prove to him that everything in the series is exaggerated and distorted. Krish finds the moment of the kiss, then leaves the house and gets into the car. The girl is still trying to convince him not to leave, but when asked to give him a phone to check correspondence, she refuses. Joan returns home and finds a farewell scene with Krish. Mac calls on the phone, and she throws the mobile phone out of anger. Morning. The girl comes to work and feels the condemning stares of her employees. An assistant comes to her and says that the board of directors is firing her, because during a conversation with Sandy she blabbed about algorithms, servers, and the carbon footprint, thereby violating the non-disclosure agreement. No one cares if it's Salma Hayek and not Joan. People from above decided so the guard carefully escorts the girl out of work. Having come to her lawyer, she asks about how to sue Streamberry and close the series. The news from the lawyer does not please her at all. Joan signed a contract with a streaming service when she bought a subscription. And according to this agreement, she agreed to use her image, including changing her character for the sake of entertainment and drama. Joan suggests suing Salma Hayek for pretending to be her, but it's not that simple either. In fact, Salma Hayek does not play in the series, but instead uses deepfake technology. And the whole series is a CGI graphics created by a powerful quantum computer, so the series is released on the same day as the events in the real world. Having received no help from a lawyer, John decides to find solace with Mac. During the bed scene, the man reports that he has erectile dysfunction. The girl tries to help her partner, but Mac is afraid to see in the service how his double from the series does not get up to Salma Hayek. It's one thing when it doesn't get up, say, on you, but Salma Hayek herself. Watching the TV version of her life alone, an unsatisfied girl has a plan. She eats burgers to the point of nausea, washes everything down with laxatives and with a painted penis on her forehead, in a costume of a cheerleader, shits herself in church right during the ceremony. Sitting at home, Joan pours herself a vinishko and, rolling with laughter, watches Salma Hayek repeat the scene of defecation in the Temple of God. The actress did not like this fragment of the series at all. Now Salma comes to her lawyer and demands to sue the service. Alas, but according to the signed contract, the image of the actress will repeat scenes from Joan's life, including such scenes. So Salma Hayek has no legal grounds to sue the company. The angry star goes to the hero of the occasion, Joan. The actress asks how she could have defecated in church. If you don't respect yourself, then respect God and the reputation of an actress. Joan replies that it was to attract Salma's attention and further help in closing this show. Unfortunately, the influence and connection were not enough for the actress to achieve this, and the streaming service sent her to hell. The actress tells how she would like to come to the office, grab this quantum computer and remove all the wires from it. Upon hearing this, Joan suggests to do so, to come to the streamer and destroy this quantum computer, because Salma, her mother Hayek, is with her, so everything should work out. After entering the office, the actress goes to the reception and says that she has an appointment with the director of Mona Javadi's company. The girl informs that Miss Hayek has no appointment, but the employee is interrupted and asked to use the toilet. Salma comes to the emergency exit, lets her partner in and the two of them go to work. And at the same time, Mona Javadi is being interviewed. Director Strimbury says that a quantum computer is able to create endless content, generate entire multiverse, and with these generated worlds create what usually takes months of work, shooting, casting actors, locations, editing, and so on. When asked why they chose Joan, Mono replies that, just like that, the service was looking for an average, unremarkable person to test the system. Strimbury plans to create individual content for each person who has bought a subscription, which is 800 million people. He will delight the interviewer with a series about her, which will be available on Friday. Fatima is shocked by what she saw and asks why the word terrible appears in the titles of the films. Where does such a negative come from? According to the tests, the viewer does not get positive content with their participation, but the negative, especially at the moment of cowardice and weakness, responds with inner fears and inspires hypnotic horror, and this attracts attention. Hearing all this, the uninvited guests wanted to destroy the computer even more. They enter the room with the car and force the guard to be silent. On the screens, Joan sees herself and asks why she is not played by Salma Hayek. The guy replies that this is the option that Joan sees the previous one when she watches the series. He shows the girl the real Joan, from whose life the series was created. The girl standing in front of him is a digital double of actress Annie Murphy.
What do you know about the multiverse?
So there's Joan, who lives in the real world, and when she watches the show, she sees Annie Murphy as herself. At the moment, the show is at this level of fiction, that is, they are all in the series right now, and the second house, Joan, is just a set. This first level is programmed so that all living things consider themselves real.
You're in a simulation. Inside the simulation. Inside another huge simulation.
To stop this flow of information, Joan number 2 knocks out the guard. The girl takes the pass, takes the axe from Salma and goes to destroy the quantum computer. An alarm begins to sound throughout the building. The headmistress, along with the guards, bursts into the room and asks not to destroy the car. Billions of people who are at this level of fiction and above will die, but they consider themselves real. After hearing that Salma Hayek will die, the star asks Joan not to destroy the computer, but the girl refuses. If she is here now, then the real Joan was already standing in this office. This event has already happened. So she didn't make that choice. This was done by Joan from the real world. And, clutching the axe, the heroine destroys the quantum computer. In the next scene, the real Joan is already standing with an axe in her hands, and next to her is Annie Murphy. After the girl's detention, we are shown how she comes to the next session of psychotherapy and shares her life after the events that occurred. Joan has found a young man, opened her own business and is enjoying life. Actress Annie Murphy comes to her coffee shop and with tracking bracelets on her legs they have fun chatting over a portion of delicious coffee.
Maybe even now you feel like Yeah, the main character of her own life story. Yes. Yes, I think I do.